Welcome back to another Professional Picks college basketball video. I know it's been a while, started a new job. I even left on a win streak. That's how you know I was busy. But I'm going to get this Big Ten conference tournament preview out for you guys. I'm going to try to start sending out some more picks now that we get March Madness ramping up. Definitely the best time of the year and time where we can make some money, hopefully. But with that, we'll jump into it. Just give you guys all my picks right off the bat. So first, just starting from the left, I'm going to take Nebraska over Northwestern. I had Northwestern originally. This game doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but Nebraska did beat Wisconsin last game out. They have a little bit of more momentum than Northwestern, but both of these teams were pretty bad on the year. The other matchup, I think this is pretty clear. I got Penn State winning this one. I know Minnesota wasn't technically as bad as everybody predicted even, but they still worst team in the conference. I thought Penn State was pretty competitive, even for getting 11th. Moving on, I have pretty much, all chalk here across the board for the second round. Michigan versus Indiana. It should be a good matchup. But I just really like Michigan going far. They have definitely underperformed this year. They got Hunter Dickinson, Diabate, all those guys. I know Juwan Howard's whole incident happened a couple weeks ago now, probably. But I think Michigan pulls together. They have the most to play for. I mean, the same argument could be made for a handful of these teams. But if Michigan wants to do anything in the tournament, even make the tournament, they got to perform well here. So I think they're going to beat Indiana. And then as for the next matchup, Iowa should win this one pretty handedly. I thought Iowa was probably the biggest surprise on the year, especially just with all the guys they lost from last year. I think they take care of business against Nebraska. Keegan Murray's been insane. He can even boost his draft stock even more. I like Iowa in this one. Next matchup, taking Michigan State. Tom Izzo was pretty furious in their last game, and all he left was saying, "We'll see you in the tournament." That's all. Maryland highly underperformed, and I don't really see them pulling together. Mark Turgeon or Scott, I forget his name, but Turgeon left, and I just think Michigan State pulls it together. This is where Tom Izzo's team really turned it on last year. They made a run at the end of the season and then into the tournament. Next matchup, we got Penn State versus Ohio State. I got Ohio State winning this one easily. Not much to talk about. Considered rivals, I guess, for demographics, but Ohio State should handle Penn State. As for the next matchup, this is where I'm going to start having some upsets. I have Michigan beating Illinois. Illinois just won the Big Ten Conference regular season for the first time since 2005. Everybody's going nuts. Everybody feels great. Still a very good team. I don't personally think they're better than they were last year when they were the 1 seed and got upset. Regardless, I think this is a similar situation. Illinois is high on themselves like they were when they won the Big Ten tournament last year. Then they end up laying an egg in the tournament. I think Michigan, as I mentioned before, has much more to play for. They were preseason ranked ahead of Illinois even. I think Michigan continues their run, wins a close one against Illinois. But this team is well balanced to at least play the Illinois team. They got Hunter Dickinson, Diabate, as I mentioned. Kofi did dominate that matchup last game. So I think Dickinson takes it personally. Moving along, Rutgers, Iowa. I think this one's a pretty much toss-up. Everybody knows I haven't liked Rutgers this year. I've been down on them. Ron Harper's a good player. They got some good guys, and they could beat good teams. I don't see them beating Iowa, though, here. I like Keegan Murray a little bit too much. I think this team might not be necessarily better, but I think they play a better brand of basketball. Rutgers get picked up some key wins down the stretch to move up in the conference. As for this Wisconsin-Michigan State game, I have another upset here. I think Michigan State wins a close one against Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a good defensive team. Johnny Davis has been an animal this year. He really propelled them to the top position or positions in this conference. But with that said, I still think Michigan State's a better balanced team. These two teams were both highly ranked at the start of the year, and then Michigan State fell off a little bit. But as I mentioned, this is when Tom Izzo gets his team playing the best basketball, and I think they win at Wisconsin or against Wisconsin, as they're a little bit high on themselves as well. So that's where I have the number 1 and 2 seeds both losing. Kind of crazy, but I can absolutely see it. As for this next matchup, I think Purdue just has way too much size. Just going to leave it at that. Ohio State doesn't have a post above like 6'8". Purdue's going to absolutely trounce them in the paint. Purdue takes care of business there. Michigan versus Iowa. Michigan's the bigger team, and I think also more balanced. I got Michigan moving along to the Big Ten tournament championship. I know that's crazy. They're an 8 seed. People could make an argument for them losing the first game of the tournament, but they have too much to play for. I still think they're a very talented team, even though they underperformed this year. I could see them making a run. This is when crazy things happen. And then moving down to the bottom of the bracket, this is where I think Michigan State runs out. I just used the same word, but Purdue is going to take care of business again. Much bigger team, just dominate the paint. Purdue kind of fell apart at the end of the year, but I think this is where they get it together. They just got to start playing better defense. Their offense is one of the best in the country. They win that game, and then I got Purdue winning the Big Ten tournament championship. Just the safest play as far as I really like Purdue's path here on the bottom. I think they have pretty good matchups. I think Illinois and Michigan are both two of the tougher teams for Purdue to play with their size, and Purdue won't see any of them until the championship. And I still like Purdue to win the championship with Jaden Ivey, all those guys, experienced squad who's definitely going to lose some talent this offseason. They got to make the most of it. I'm taking Purdue to win the tournament. Let me know what you guys are taking in the comments. These aren't any official bets because there's no lines or anything, but I will be putting some of those out throughout the week if I find anything I like. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And then just to end it up, as always, we have our partnership with Prize Picks. On the left there, you can see that they'll match your first deposit up to $100 using our promo code PROPICS to daily sports betting app. And it's legal in betting legal states such as Texas, California, and Florida. Essentially, you place entries on player props. It could be on fantasy scores, whatnot. It's a growing app. You guys should definitely give it a look if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys for watching.